Okay, so this video is going to be more of like a story about how I got politely rejected today at the gym, but there's a reason why I'm filming it and sharing it with you guys. I think this is a learning lesson into kind of like how women will subtly but like politely reject you, because we would all want a woman to outright reject us. Like if we ask a girl out, we would like them to say no. But what usually happens? Women will usually say something like they'll come up with an excuse, or they'll say like I have a boyfriend even if they don't have a boyfriend. But rarely will you ever have a woman just straight up to your face tell you like I'm sorry, I just don't like you. The context is I was at the gym today. So this is going to be a story based around me being at the gym. A lot of guys that watch this video, that watch videos on dating and pickup in general, think it's a terrible idea to meet girls at the gym, but I'm someone that, quite frankly, I just don't care, because I'm perfectly fine getting rejected in any environment. And if I happen to see that girl again, well, I'm not gonna stop what I'm doing just because I got rejected by a girl. I say this in a lot of my videos, guys. Dating's a numbers game. You're gonna get rejected by like 99% of women anyways, usually because they're not gonna like you, they're gonna have a boyfriend, or they're not gonna be available, and that could be for whatever reason. And so the more women you interact with, the more you get rejected, the less you just start caring, really. All right, so let's get into the video, and then I'm gonna tell you the whole situation on like I'm gonna tell you the whole story, and then we'll kind of like break down why I still went up and tried to approach this girl. When I saw this girl at the gym, she was with her friend, and I was in a social mood. So she and her buddy were like working out. Those two girls were working out on like this one leg machine, and I went up to a trainer and a woman, those two girls that were like working out together, because I knew them and I wanted to go up and say hi to them. And I said hi, and then I saw that girl that I'm going to talk about, and over to the left. And once I stopped talking to Caitlin, and then whatever her name is, and then I immediately went over there and I went up to this girl. I was like, "Hey, excuse me, what's your name?" She told me her name. It starts with an L, Leah, I think. I don't remember. I know it starts with an L. And all I wanted to do at that time was just compliment her. I said, "Hey, listen," I said, "it's good to meet you. I just want to let you know you were absolutely fucking gorgeous." And she goes, "Thank you." I said, "Jesus, girl." I was like, "You're so pretty." And then I rolled away to go work out. Fast forward, I think that was maybe last week when I said that. So fast forward to today. It's Wednesday at the time I'm filming this video, so I don't know when you guys are going to see this, depending on when I release it. I was working out. Like, I just went to the gym, and I was talking to a few different people, and then I went to my location in front of the mirrors to get ready to do. I was warming up like with back, and I'm just sitting there, and that girl and her friend walk right in front of me, and they go over to their spot. So I'm like, "Oh, okay, well, you just walked right in front of me when you could have just walked behind me." Now you're gonna see she's gonna do this again. In my head, I thought this meant something. However, assuming it means something is incorrect, because they could have just done it without even thinking. They like walked in front of me and went over to their spot. So she walked in front of me, and I mean, the mirror's right there. So it's like, no shit, you're going to see me staring at you. I think this girl's absolutely stunning to look at. So like, hell yeah, bro, I'm going to look at you and I'm going to appreciate what it is that I'm looking at. There's a lot of beautiful girls that go to my gym, but like this girl in particular, I mean, we all have those girls that like, in every guy's going to find, their own 10 out of 10 for like lack of better words. I mean, if you're a guy, I'm sure you might understand that. I might find a girl to be absolutely gorgeous, and you might be like, "Yeah, she's okay." I think this girl is stunning, dude. I'm like, "Oh my God, you're so pretty." So her and her friend go over there, and they're like working out, and then I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, "All right, well, I'm going to warm up, and then I'm going to put my weight away, and I got to get a new weight, so I got to go buy them anyways." So I'm like, "All right, well," I go over there, I swap my weights, I look at them, they don't look at me, I'm like, "Okay." Like rolled by them. So I'm sitting there again, finishing up my workout, getting ready to go and move to a different spot. Her friend, like a couple minutes before I'm getting ready to move, her friend comes to put her weight away, because they had like these big, like the long, I don't know, they're barbells, I think. Her friend walked behind me. So I'm like, all right, cool, saw her friend. But the girl that I'm talking about, her friend walked behind me, but this girl walked in front of me. Like, and I mean, it was very obvious. She walked in front of me, and I was looking at her, but she wasn't making eye contact with me. So I've got videos on my channel where I talk about like how to tell if a girl's interested. And typically, if a girl knows you're looking at her and she's not making eye contact with you, she's not interested. But in this situation, like, homie you chose to walk in front of me. Not only that, but she walked right back in front of me again when she was going back to her friend. So this is where I didn't know what was really going on. I think I even talked to ChatGPT. I was like, hey, I need you to act as a dating coach and answer this question for me. Women will put themselves in your orbit on purpose if they find you attractive. So in my head, my first thought was, dude, you definitely fucking did that on purpose. There was so much space in this gym for her to go anywhere else or like behind me to put that weight away. But this girl chose to walk in front of me 2 times. So in my head, I was like, dude, okay, you definitely did that on purpose. There's no way. At the same time, it was very clear I was looking at her, but she still refused to make eye contact with me. If a girl knows you're looking at her, but she's refusing to make eye contact, like a normal, healthy woman that has like a boyfriend or just doesn't like you, she won't make eye contact with you. But there are those like really insecure and like shy women that are just too scared to do that. I don't know how to explain it where you guys would understand in a video, but you can like look at somebody and kind of get like a, for lack of better words, like vibe from them. I'm a very extroverted person. When I look at this girl, she seems like very calm and like put together, kind of like my ex-girlfriend. So that's kind of how I can point this out. Like she seems like a very like, I wouldn't say insecure, but like put together, shy, doesn't really go out of her way to meet new people like I do. I can talk to anybody. This girl doesn't seem like she really does that. In that situation then, believe it or not, you will have women that will not look at you even if they find you attractive because they're just too shy or they're too scared to. Or, you know how we get social anxiety when it comes to like approaching women we don't know because we have a fear of rejection? Women get the same thing. Women are just as afraid to talk to a man that they like, but they're just better at hiding it. Going back to the story then. All right, so I'm like, all right, well, I thought she did that on purpose. And if you were there, if I had like a video of that, you'd be like, yeah, I think she did that on purpose too. But at the same time, girls still refuse to make eye contact with me or even like smile at me or whatever. Fast forward around, I went to a cable machine and then I had to go to the bathroom. So when I went to the bathroom, I ended up meeting a different girl that actually asked me for my name and smiled at me. So that was a clear indicator that I could have stayed and talked to her. But me being in a wheelchair, if I have to pee, like I really can't sit there and talk. Like if I have to pee and I know I have to do it, I have to go. Otherwise, I could have like an accident. And one thing I want to point out with that girl that I met, that was unintentional. But when I rolled by her, I looked at her and like kind of like smiled. Well, she looked back at me and smiled at me. And that's usually a pretty good interest. Like if a girl looks at you and smiles, that typically means you can go up and talk to her. So I literally stopped stopped going to the bathroom, turned my fucking wheelchair around, went up to her, and I was like, hey, excuse me, what's your name? And she told me her name. Her name was Aaliyah. And then Aaliyah immediately goes, what's your name? So if I didn't have to go to the bathroom, I could have stayed there and talked to her if I wanted to, but I didn't. So I just complimented her. I said, hey, 2 things. 1, you're really pretty, and 2, because I had all black on and she had all black on. I said, black looks fucking great on you. And she like giggled and like smiled. She goes, thank you so much. And I was like, yeah, girl, you're welcome. And I rolled away. That girl that I'm just talking about, the one that walked in front of me, guess what? I'm on the cable machine. Her friend wasn't with her anymore, but this girl chose to use the equipment that was literally right in front of me. So again, I'm like, dude, you're putting yourself in my fucking orbit. I mean, I get you're not on the cable machine, but I'm looking at you right now when I have to work out. Like out of all the other machines you could have went to, you chose to go to this one right here. This could have just been coincidence that she wanted to use that machine. So in my head, I'm like, okay, well, this doesn't add up. Like you're walking in front of me and then you're working on the machine literally right in front of me, but you're not looking at me. I'm like, what? One of my girlfriends, Bren here, super fucking hot girl. Bren's here. And I saw her. She was yelling at me from across the gym. So I just rolled up to her, started talking to her for a little bit. Then when I was done talking to Bren, I turned back around. And on my way to get back to my cable machine, that girl was right there. So I was like, dude, I gotta fuck it. I have a urge inside of me to go up and like talk to this girl. So I rolled up to her and it didn't even come out of my mouth right. And I don't know if that's where I messed up or not. I went up to her and I just put my headphones off. I said, listen, I was like, I don't know how to word this. I was like, but I felt like I had to say something to you or I wouldn't be able to finish my workout. This part of the story is why I'm even filming this video for you guys in the first place, okay? I'm going to explain what happened, and then I'm going to talk about the different signs on how you can kind of tell if a girl's like not interested in you. I'm asking her questions of the guy. Hey, I'm like, what's going on? I'm like, you were with your girlfriend working out over there, but now she's not here. She goes, oh yeah, she had to go to work. And I was like, oh man, that sucks. It's like, wait, I was like, what do you do for work? I usually ask like, well, what are you working out right now? But she was on a chess machine. So I didn't want to feel stupid. So I was just like, well, what do you do for work? And she goes, I'm a bartender. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. I used to bartend too. I was like, where do you bartend at? And she was like, this place called Tsunami. And I was like, oh, I've never been there before. I was like, do you enjoy working there? She goes, yeah. And I was like, oh, cool. I was like, I've never been there. I don't know if they're open during like the afternoons or not. But she goes, yeah, we're open day and night. And I said, oh, I was like, do you work day shifts then, or do you work like night shifts? And she goes, well, it's kind of like mixed. I said, but and I was trying to be playful. I was like, well, which one do you make more money at? And she was like, well, night. And I said, okay, yeah. And then I tried to transition into talking about her. And this was just kind of, I don't know, man. Like, have you ever had a conversation with somebody where it feels like you really got to put in like some work to have a conversation and it just doesn't feel like easy? This girl physically to me was absolutely gorgeous, but just talking to her, I don't know if I had too much caffeine in me, because I'm usually, I mean, if you could tell by the way I talk to the camera right now, like me talking, I can fucking yap all day, bro. It's not hard. But there are some women where like talking, it feels like a challenge. So I switched it. I said, okay, well, look, more importantly, I said, let's switch this conversation up. I said, well, what do you, when you're not working out and you're not at work, I was like, what do you enjoy doing for fun? And I was like, you look like a girl that would read like anime. And I was trying to be playful and like a little flirty, like, yeah, you look like a girl that would read anime. And she goes, and I usually with my girlfriends, I'm going out. I said, you don't look like the girl that would go out and party. She goes, yeah, well, I mean, I go out with my girlfriends and we go to the beach. And I said, oh, well, which beach around here is your favorite? And she was like, Lido. I want you guys to pay attention. Her answers so far have all just been like very short, straight to the point, and almost like if you were to talk to this girl, like I said, she's like this real sweet, innocent looking girl. But like in my head talking about this, I'm like, dude, were you like fucking stoned? So one of the things I want to point out before I even finish this is like, like women love talking about themselves. Women typically don't have a problem talking. If a girl's not putting in an effort to have a conversation like this girl was now, that's a pretty good interest, or a pretty good sign that she's really not interested. Where this story ended and why I'm filming this in the first place is because usually, from my experience, when it comes time to talking with girls, or at the gym anyways, there's only been one other person that did this in a very similar way. And so I don't know if I should label this as me getting rejected or me getting like dismissed. Because I felt like if it was anything like my friend Langley does, she like kind of like dismisses me, and I'm at the point where I even call her out for that now, and I just think that's fucking rude personally. Like you're dismissing me, okay? Well, this girl, it was so polite, man. Like we came to a pause in the conversation, and then she just goes, "Have a good workout." If you understand anything about like social cues and whatnot, and this is why I said this story is the context was at the gym. Okay, because if this was like anywhere else, like if it was like at the mall or at like a farmer's market, she could have just been like, have a good day, right? So in this situation, she was, have a good workout, and I knew immediately that basically said like, okay, wrap it up, you're done, go. I was just like, yeah, you too, and then I left. So from this point on, as much as I hate saying it, I'm never going to speak to this girl again unless she comes up to me. I mean, that was a very clear, very subtle and polite way to like reject you. The girl that gave me her name, like I looked at her and smiled. She looked at me and smiled back. And then when I went up and asked her for her name, she immediately asked me for my name. And then when I complimented her, most women will say like thank you, but this girl was like really bubbly and she was like, haha, yeah, thank you. Like that's some pretty good signs right there. So likely with that first girl, there was a better chance of me being able to like ask that girl out just from that initial interaction than it was talking to this girl. And so let's look at the signs from this girl so far, so that way you guys can kind of pick up on this, all right? Remember I said that when it was very clear that I was looking at her, she made no effort to look back at me. That does not mean 100% of the time that a woman is not interested in you, because women like this girl, if they're super shy, and this girl, I don't know her, so I can't say if she's shy or not, but based on the women I've dated in the past, I kind of have a feeling that this type of girl just isn't really like open and social like I am. That's why I said like just because she doesn't look at you doesn't really mean anything. But you know, she walked in front of me, walked by me, and I looked at her both times, and I mean I was really enjoying what I was seeing, so I could care less if she knew I was looking at her or not. I guess before I say this, I want to preference that it doesn't matter what happens. It doesn't matter if a girl doesn't look at you. It doesn't matter if a girl doesn't smile at you. It doesn't matter if a girl doesn't ask for your name. You're never going to know if she's going to go out with you or not unless you ask. There are times where I have talked to women that never asked me for my name, and I got their phone number. Now, I never went out on a date with those girls, but that's what I'm saying, is it hasn't stopped me from asking to go out, because I'm at the point now where if I have a conversation with a girl and we're talking for like 5 minutes and the conversation's going pretty well yeah, at that point in time, then I'm like, in my head, I'm like, all right, well, I've been talking to this girl for a while, we've been engaging back and forth, I'm gonna ask her out. But in this situation, when I was talking to this girl, her answers were, and I don't care if she's shy or not, man, her answers were very effortless. From my experience, when it comes to talking to women, if a woman likes you, women naturally have an easier time talking. Like a normal woman says about 8,000 words a day on average, whereas a man says about 2,000. I'm upwards on like 5,000, bro. Like I said, I can talk all day long. So for me, someone that puts no effort into a conversation is really fucking boring to talk to. And I had to struggle to like get this girl to talk. Even if the girl's hot, even if you really want to ask this girl out, if your initial conversation with the girl is like a struggle just to get her to talk, at that point in time, man, I wouldn't even have asked her out. And if you're ever in a situation where you get rejected by a girl, it doesn't matter where you're at, doesn't matter how mean it was, and it doesn't matter how polite it was, because this was a very polite way to do that. Just, play it off cool like me. I just said, hey, you too, and I went away, and that's it. I'm never going to talk to that girl again. And some of the cues to look out for, if you look at a girl and smile, and she does not look at you, or if she looks at you and does not smile, that likely means she's not interested in you. If you go up and ask a girl for her name, if at any point in time she doesn't ask for your name, and usually this happens, like if you ask for a girl's name, from my experience, she'll usually ask for your name back as soon as you say, hey, it's good to meet you. That's usually what happens. Now, I'm not saying that happens all the time. There have been instances where I've talked to a girl for like a couple minutes and then she asked me for my name. But for the most part, if you ask a girl, hey, what's your name? She'll tell you your name. You say, hey, name, it's good to meet you. She'll say, it's good to meet you too. What's your name? That's usually what happens. If she does not ask for your name, well, that's, she's got to go out of her way to ask for your name. And if she doesn't ask for your name, well, then she likely doesn't care enough. If it seems like her answers are bare minimum, she's putting in no effort to talk to you or like answer your questions. If you're the kind of person that enjoys talking to fucking walls, well, then I guess in that case, even though that's a sign of disinterest, you still might be interested in that. But I'm telling you now, from my experience with women, if a girl puts no effort into a conversation, and I'll give you an example right now. Let's pretend I'm the girl. Oh, hey, Mitchell, where are you from? Oh, I'm from Florida. Or another example, hey Mitchell, where are you from? Oh, I'm from Florida. I was actually born in Tampa, or I was actually born in Brandon, but a lot of people from Florida, they're not from here. So because they're not from here, I tell people I was actually born in Tampa, but Brandon's only like 20 minutes, 30 minutes away, depending on like what exit you take. Do you see the difference there? I had to put in some effort to answer that question, and that's because that's because I wanted to communicate with you. But the first one, yeah, I'm from Florida. Like you're like, I'm not even going to spend the time to talk to you. And also too, I guess the biggest thing, even if a girl does answer your questions like a very elaborate way, the more girls you talk to, the more you'll see that I'm right. Women love talking about themselves. They're little fucking egotistical creatures. They love talking about themselves, especially if she's fucking hot. But if a girl does not ask you personal questions, I can tell you right now, man, that girl does not like you enough to want to go out with you. Women who want to get to know you, they will go out of their way to ask you personal questions, and that's their way of prolonging the conversation. So I want you guys to notice, if you're talking to a girl right now, if she looks at you and smiles, she asks you for your name, but she does not ask you personal questions when you're talking, that doesn't mean you're going to get rejected. But I'm telling you, the chances of you getting her number aren't going to be as high. Whereas if she asked you personal questions like, oh, I'm from Florida, well, where are you from? I wanted to film this video for you guys just to kind of explain this little story that happened at the gym. You may or may not be in a similar situation. And look, it doesn't have to be at the gym. I gave you some subtle cues to look out for on how to tell if a girl's not interested. There could be excuses like, well, if she's at the gym, she might just want to work out. She might not want to talk. Maybe today, maybe she just wasn't really in like that good of a mood. So it's possible she could come up to me at any point in time in the future and our interactions could be different. But if I'm a betting man and my experience of talking to women, that likely isn't going to happen. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's just a story that I want to tell you guys on me getting politely rejected by a girl, because it's likely going to happen to you several times, because women will not flat out reject you. If you like this video, guys, please like, comment, and subscribe. And listen, if you want to get better at pickup, dating, and relationships, I just came out with my brand new cheat sheets, a 17-page document that is designed to be looked at when you're in a situation with the girl where you do not want to mess up. Okay, I'm pricing it right now at $13.99. Super affordable, bro. Click the link, watch the video to see if it's for you, man. If you think so, pick up a copy. I got a couple other links in the description. Listen, if you like this video, like my little story video, you're likely going to want to check out this video right here. If you learned something from this one, and this was a story video, you're likely going to learn a bunch from this video as well. So with that being said, guys, hey, I'll see you in the next one.